never will run dry. Sing it out. And it's an open heaven you're releasing, and we will never be denied. Cause we're stirring up. Cause we're stirring up deep, deep wells. We're stirring up deep, deep waters. We're gonna dance in the river. Dance in the river. Cause we're stirring up deep, deep wells. We're stirring up deep, deep waters. We're gonna jump in the river. Jump in the river. Deep cries out, deep cries out, deep cries out, deep cries out, we cry out, we cry out to you, Jesus. And I've got a river, living water, a fountain that never will run dry. No, now it's an open heaven you're releasing, and we will never be denied. Cause we're stirring up. Cause we're stirring up deep, deep wells. We're stirring up deep, deep waters. We're gonna dance in the river. Dance in the river. Cause we're stirring up deep, deep wells. We're stirring up deep, deep waters. We're gonna jump in the river. Jump in. And everybody sing it out. Deep cries out, deep cries out, deep cries out, deep cries out, we cry out, we cry out to you, Jesus. Deep cries out, deep cries out, deep cries out, deep cries out, we cry out to you, Jesus. We're falling into deeper waters, calling out to you. We're walking into deeper waters, going after you. Yeah, clap your hands.
What's going on, Maranatha? It's your boy Slides, aka Jason. I'm 22 years old, and I've been going to Camp Maranatha for about 2.5 years at this point. And man, I love it. I mean, it's great. So I remember the first time I came to camp it was for like an open house per se for counselors. I had already signed up to work, and me and my friend Bambi, aka Elizabeth, had just got done watching Avengers Infinity War with some friends. And I was like, yo, look, we still got time. Let's go to the camp. Let's drive to Scottsboro. Let's see what it's about. Man, the water, the paddle boards, the basketball goal. And if you know me, you know I spend my time at the basketball goal. So I was like, basketball goals, like that's my alley. You know, it was just all so beautiful. And then man, I just fell in love with camp the first time I ever looked at it, and first time I ever walked the campgrounds, it was just love at first sight. You know, I think my favorite spot at camp would be the pavilion. And I say the pavilion because the pavilion is just so full of life. Like, we've got snacks at the pavilion, we've got speakers at the pavilion, we do our energizers at the pavilion, we play basketball, that's my thing now, we play basketball at the pavilion. It was always so high energy, and I just loved it. I think my favorite camp memory would be I had this one group, and I loved the entire group. But we had this one camper who came frequently, I'm not going to say his name, to hear what his mother said about him. about how so many people give up on him and so many people write him off. And to hear her thank me personally for pouring into her son's life the gospel and pouring into her son's life with positive attitude and leadership application, and even when there were frustrating moments, to always smile and was like, you know what, like, hey, we care for you. We're so thankful that you're here. You know, you're at Maranatha to have a great time, and B, to encounter the presence of the Lord. And, you know, that's what we're here for. And I want to encourage you. I want to be there for you. I want to be your friend. I want to be your mentor. I want to be your leader. I want to be your brother. I want to be all these things for you if you're willing to let me. And to hear how thankful she was, but also not only that, but to also hear how thankful he was. It was just, it just makes your heart, it just makes your heart melt. And you're just like, I could do this for the rest of my life. It's your boys that slides, and we finna go to camp. I'm playing on the beat, but I'm finna praise the Lamb. Hey, hey. I'm just kidding. No, my favorite camp song would probably be, I don't necessarily know if it's a camp song. I think it's more like a camp tune, but it's Herman the Worm. Like, we love Herman, right? I was sitting on my fence post, chewing my bubble gum, playing with my yo-yo, do-a-wop. And along came Herman the Worm. And he was this big. And I said, Herman, what happened? And he said, I ate a penny. And that's just that's probably my favorite camp song, because we get to build the story of this of this worm, of Herman. Like, Herman's eating a bus, a rock, a boulder. You'd be amazed at what people say. I love it. Woo, I hope y'all ready for a sermon, because I'm about to go in. Man, Maranatha is so welcoming for so many different personalities and for so many different functions. Like, no one ever feels like they're a sideline player. No one ever feels like, man, like, can't have fun because I'm afraid of heights and I can't get on the zip line. Like no, it's fine. Like, hey, you did it. Like, you tried it. I'm so proud of you. You know, you climbed up 5 steps. Man, that's 5 steps more than you wanted to do. I mean, you've achieved something. Like, come on, like, round of applause. Like, you know, Maranatha is just so amazing and so uplifting. And Maranatha has my heart. This is Slides, and thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Hey Maranatha, how you doing today? It's Chase, or El Jefe, joining you from the top of our zip tower, one of our most incredible attractions we have out here at Camp Maranatha. You see right now I'm hooked up to this line right here. In just a little bit I'm going to zip down this cable. Now, a lot of you guys would be freaking out if you were 43 feet up in the air. And a lot of times we get afraid of things. We have fear. Naturally, we're not supposed to be just hanging out 43 feet above the ground without being hooked into something right here. But I have faith. Now, faith is what counteracts our fear. When we're afraid of anything, the faith is what helps us get through that fear. In this case, I have faith in this equipment. The manufacturer says this is rated for 10,000 pounds, this cable's rated for 14,000 pounds, this lanyard's 5,000 pounds, this lanyard's 5,000 pounds, these carabiners are 12,000 pounds. Because of that, what they've said, I have faith in what they say is true. And just like that, I still have to demonstrate that faith by putting my faith in this. Now, a lot of times, God asks us to put our faith in Him. In His Word, He gives us messages all the time to step out in faith, to be faithful. When people don't do what He is asking them to do, or when they fall short, He says, ye of little faith. Now, faith is just believing in God's promises. And in this case, we're going to talk about a guy named Joshua. You might have heard Pepper give a little bit of a talk to Joshua a couple weeks ago. What she was talking about was Joshua's job was to take over after Moses and lead God's people into the promised land. Now, the very first transition or thing they did after that leadership transition happened from Moses to Joshua is they had to cross over this river, and it's called the River Jordan. Now, God told Joshua, when you guys step in the water, then and only then will I stop the water, you can walk across. At this time of the year, everyone on the other side of the river felt completely safe because they saw millions of Jewish people gathering, ready to go and take over their land. But the water was at flood stage. And when you see, if you ever want to see a picture of something great, go to Google flood stage, the Jordan River. It's huge, it's torrents flowing all over the place, it's outside of its banks. It's not easy to cross. There's rapids all around it. It's difficult, and so it would have taken a ton of faith to walk out to make that first step into the water. But here we pick up in Joshua. This is chapter 3, verse 14. It says, "So it was, and the people set out from their camp to cross over the Jordan, and the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people. As those who bore the ark came to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests who bore the ark dipped into the edge of the water, for the Jordan overflows its banks during this time of harvest, the waters which came from downstream stood still and rose up in a heap very far away. At Adam, the city that's beside Zaratan, and the waters went down to the sea of Zarabath, and they failed, and they were cut off, and the people crossed over opposite Jericho, and the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood on firm dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all of Israel crossed over on dry ground until the people had crossed completely over the Jordan." You see, that river was raging all around, and even if it stopped flowing, it would have taken weeks to dry out and not be just a big mushy mess. If you've ever seen a lake like this, it backs off, the shoreline's just mucky mess, and you'll just get all stuck in there, and millions of people walking would have been horrible too. So God didn't even just keep his promise to stop in the water. He kept his promise and went an extra step, an even further way, exceedingly abundantly more, and they crossed over on dry ground. God is asking you to step out in faith to trust him at his word, what he says in the Bible, and then it's true. But a lot of times he asks us to take that first step out in faith. Just like I'm about to step off this and trust this gear, I'm going to encourage you guys and challenge you guys to step off and to trust God today. It's great talking to you. I'll see you later.